This has been a great year for smartphones so far. Conventional slab phones are all extremely polished, and foldables are coming into their own. So if you're looking to upgrade your phone, now is as good a time as any. We here at XDA test almost every smartphone on Earth. So here's our expert guide on the best smartphones, covering both the best Android and best iPhone depending on your budget or need. Picking the iPhone 14 Pro in this spot was a very tough decision because there are a lot of worthy challengers. And honestly, for me specifically, I'd rather use the bigger iPhone 14 Pro Max or the Xiaomi 12S Ultra over the iPhone 14 Pro. But this list must be written with the general public in mind, and for most people, the iPhone 14 Pro is the best combination of performance, value, and availability. Okay, now started our list. 1. OnePlus 10 Pro. This category is different from the above best overall category in that this is no longer looking at it from an average consumer perspective. This category is instead for people who follow the smartphone market closely and want a phone that offers the best combination of specs, features, and value. And yes, some will surely take issue with us calling an $899 phone affordable. But do keep in mind this section is for an affordable premium phone, meaning it's for someone who wants a high-end flagship phone without going too crazy. And $899 in this category is on the lower end. Anyway, the $899 OnePlus 10 Pro is our choice in this spot. It's got a brilliant 120Hz LTPO 2.0 OLED display that's almost as good as the Galaxy S22 Ultra's, premium build quality, excellent haptics, and a really strong main and ultra-wide camera. In fact, the only area in which the Galaxy S22 Ultra clearly beats the OnePlus 9 Pro is in zooming prowess. But then the OnePlus 10 Pro charges much faster and costs almost $300 less. As a standalone device, without comparing it to other phones, the OnePlus 10 Pro offers a great package. OnePlus has built its reputation over the years as a brand that focuses on being fast, and that theme continues with the 10 Pro. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is one of the best smartphone SoCs on the Android side of things, so its performance is top-notch. While Oxygen OS has lost a bit of its own identity in the past year, it now shares a lot of DNA with Oppo's Color OS. It is still one of the smoothest and fastest UI around. Apart from performance, another thing that's really fast on the OnePlus 10 Pro is charging the battery. In the US, the OnePlus 10 Pro gets a 65W charging brick in the box from our testing. The phone's 5000 mAh battery can charge from 0 to 100% in 34 minutes. The Google Pixel 7. The Google Pixel 7 Pro is the better phone, but the Pixel 7 is the better option for most people. Both phones basically share most of the same hardware, with the Pro only gaining a higher refresh rate and a zoom lens. For most people, those two features aren't enough to justify the $250 price difference. At $599, the Pixel 7 is an excellent value, a flagship phone that can hang with the big boys in many areas. But at almost half the price, the Pixel 7 continues the Pixel 6's evolution, with the second-generation Tensor G2 chip custom designed by Google that takes the phone's machine learning capabilities to another level. The display, while just 90Hz, is still a looker, with FHD plus resolution and accurate color output. It's also slightly smaller than the Pixel 6 at 6.3 inches, making for a comfortable one-hand phone. The dual-camera system here features the same hardware as the Pro's, a 50MP primary sensor and a 12MP ultra-wide, and they are both great. The 4335 mAh battery is relatively small. It is actually smaller than the Pixel 6's battery, but battery life is still good thanks to the Tensor G2's efficiency. The software on the Pixel 7 is also one of its biggest highlights. The phone comes with Android 13 out of the box, and given that it's a Pixel, you can truly enjoy Android 13 the way it's meant to be. There are lots of AI features that Google introduced, including Live Translate, Magic Eraser, Face Unblur, etc. Google also promises 3 years of Android version upgrades and 5 years of security patches for the Pixel 7. This makes the phone future-proof, and you can use it for an extended period. If you're looking for a phone that excels especially in the camera department, and one that has clean and up-to-date software, you cannot go wrong with the Pixel 7. 3. OnePlus Nord N20. Retailing for around $300, it's hard to find a phone at this price point stateside that's more capable than the OnePlus Nord N20. For a quarter of the price of an iPhone 13 Pro Max or Galaxy S22 Ultra, you're getting a 5G-ready handset, a solid main camera, and a pretty design. While the 6.4-inch screen is only 60Hz, it is an OLED panel, so you're getting some punchy, vibrant colors. That 60Hz panel also helps the 4500 mAh battery last all day. And if you do need a top-up, there's a 33W fast charging brick included with the package. There's also a headphone jack and 5G support too. The main 64MP camera is fine in good lighting conditions, but don't be fooled by the large second camera lens. those are just 2MP sensors that don't do much of anything. At this price point in the US though, one good rear-facing camera is acceptable. Otherwise, the usual OnePlus zippy software can be found here, and while Oxygen OS has lost some of its character, it's still clean and minimum software compared to many other Android brands. One thing to note, even the very definition of budget differs from person to person, and a singular choice may not be able to properly appreciate the nuances of all individuals. If you're looking for more options, here are some other great cheap Android phones for you to consider. Last year's Galaxy Z Fold 3 corrected a lot of initial concerns about foldable phones. Samsung managed to add water resistance while shedding weight and lowering the price. This year, the Galaxy Z Fold 4 makes mostly iterative changes, and while each change is relatively small, together they make up more than the sum of their parts and further polish an already very refined foldable. This year, Samsung shrunk the hinge protrusion a bit, so that the Fold 4 is a bit more comfortable to hold in folded form. What's more, Samsung gave those precious few millimeters saved to the screen, so the Fold 4 has a slightly wider screen than the Fold 3. Samsung also further shed weight to 263 g, making for the second lightest large screen foldable round behind the Xiaomi Mix Fold 2. Cameras also got some much needed improvements. Samsung upgraded the Fold 4's main sensor to a 50MP 1x1.55-inch sensor, which drastically increases light intake. Compared to the Fold 3, the Fold 4 brings a quite noticeable improvement in main and zoom camera photography. The 3x zoom lens here, in particular, is a huge jump over the 2x lens from last year. For Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 was one of the most stylish-looking smartphones to come out in recent years, and the Galaxy Z Flip 4 wisely brings back the exact same look but with more color customization options. We adore the two-tone finish in the petite size when folded up, but don't mistake small size for lack of power. This thing is, along with the Fold 4, the most durable foldable phone ever. With IPX8 water resistance and armor aluminum build material, the Flip 4 is an awesome device for those who find modern Android phones too large and hard to pocket. Unfolded, the 6.7-inch 1080x2640 display looks and behaves like any other top Samsung screen, with vibrant colors, top-notch sharpness, and a fast refresh rate up to 120 Hz for buttery smooth animations. New to the Flip 4 is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, which has a stronger GPU and superior battery efficiency. The latter is important, as battery life has always been a slight weakness in previous flips. While the Flip 4 isn't going to win any battery endurance awards, it is now possible to get all-day use provided you're not pushing it too heavily. Samsung also improved the software for the outer cover display, allowing users to open any app on the smaller 1.9-inch display. Sure, some apps will look silly in the cramped space, but other apps will benefit from it. You can, for example, scroll through your Spotify playlist directly from the outside screen. While the pair of 12MP cameras here aren't amazing hardware-wise, Samsung's computational photography is very smart, so it will help compensate for the older hardware with AI trickery to produce shots that are usually vibrant and well-detailed. Of course, with Flex Mode, the Flip 4 can shoot in a lot of creative ways too. Overall, the Flip 4 is an iterative refinement to already an excellent small foldable. 5. Galaxy S22 Ultra. While we think the Vivo Z80 Pro's main and ultra-wide camera reaches higher heights than anyone this year, and that the Pixel 7 Pro's main camera is stellar, if you want the most complete and versatile camera system, then that would be the Galaxy S22 Ultra, because it packs 4 cameras covering the ultra-wide, wide, 3x zoom and 10x zoom focal range. The latter is the best zoom lens in smartphones by some distance, with no other phone save for the very hard-to-buy Huawei 40 Pro Plus that can even claim to have such a focal range. The main and ultra-wide cameras of the Galaxy S22 Ultra are no slouch either. The main lens is a 108MP shooter that uses nano-binning technology to produce a super bright image, but perhaps too bright, as it's the same overexposure issue that has us ranking it a hair below the Vivo Z80 Pro's main camera, and the ultra-wide camera is excellent during the day, with a sweeping 120-degree field of view. The rest of the phone is absolutely premium, with a 6.8-inch Super AMOLED display with the maximum peak brightness of any phone screen this year, a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 SoC, and a large 5000 mAh battery. There's also the S Pen stylus, which has migrated over to the Galaxy S series since the Note line has been retired. Samsung's One UI software is also among one of the most polished in the Android space, with a good multitasking system and extra features such as Samsung DeX. While we ultimately gave the best overall title to the iPhone 14 Pro, if you have decided iOS isn't for you, then the Galaxy S22 Ultra is the pick for the best overall phone on this list.